I dig your Ricky. When you get juicy, I get real sticky. And when you're magic, it makes me tricky too. Yeah, I'm a Sony, you're Panasonic. I'm heavy metal, you're Philharmonic. You get earaches, I turn my volume down a notch or two for you. 'Cause I will do anything for you, anything you want me to. I'm so adaptable to you, was untrappable to you. I will do for you anything for you, adaptable to you, adaptable to you.
Greetings and salutations and happy Halloween, and welcome to Reading Between the Lines. I am your host, the Water Dog, and today we're going to be adaptable. We're going to be building ourselves an anarch thaumaturgy, quote-unquote blood sorcery thaumaturgy deck for you today, and we're basing it off of the song Adaptable from the 1982 Alice Cooper album Zipper Catches Skin. It's a really, really fun album if you haven't heard this album. It is just really kind of a, I guess the best way to say it's kind of a new wave pop rock album is really what it is. Very quick, hard-biting songs with a lot of humor. And the music, of course, is just outstandingly fun, especially when you got guitarist Dick Wagner. Dick Wagner is a great studio musician, been around for years. He's really good on this album. So it's to me it's just very tongue-in-cheek, even with the album title and the album cover and the album art. Just very, 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 very funny. One of the big songs that came off of the album is really kind of like a soundtrack song, "I Am the Future," which came on the was its main song on the Class of 1984 movie. If you haven't seen that, with Michael J. Fox and Roddy McDowell, who has a great scene in there. Never seen Class of 1984, and there you go. But we're building a deck based on the album, so we're going to try to be as adaptable to you as we possibly can, because that's what we're going to be doing with thaumaturgy. We're just going to try to be as flexible, and particularly because we're doing anarchs, and so we're looking at anarchs and all those anarch actions. You got to remember that a lot of those anarch actions, they have 3 disciplines that you can choose from, and so you're trying to just be as flexible with that. And so to me, this is a very fluid deck. It's going to go, in and out. I'm going to be making changes here over the next few months, but here's the meat and potatoes of the deck, and so let's get started. Let's talk about. We're going to play with 3 Vivians. We've got 3 Bedouins, 2 Brandons, 2 Crows, and 2 Darios. Notice that all 5 of these anarchs have that ability of thaumaturgy. They also have a couple of abilities that are going to be similar that's going to come into play as well. Notice that we've got a total of, we're looking at, Vivian has Protean, Crow has Protean, Dario is the same. Then you're looking at some vampires here that also have some similarity, animalism. So there's some similarities with all of those disciplines kind of, mixed up into that. So you're going to be able to use a lot of these anarch cards that have those tri-disciplines in order to play and go with it. So that's the general makeup. So that's your crypt, and so now we're going to go into your master cards. We're going to use an Anarch Free Press. Now, one of the things about the Anarch Free Press, don't forget, is that you can also lock that card after an Anarch, successfully hunts to add an extra blood to that Anarch. So it's a hunt for 2. Don't forget that. So we're going to add that with another card, Hospital Food. So Hospital Food does the same thing. You successfully hunt, you get a second blood. So we want to be able to refuel our vampires, so to speak. So there's going to be plenty of hunting grounds and plenty of ways to hunt and gain blood back on your vampire. You got an Anarch Railroad for some stealth. Carfax Abbey, that's your first hunting ground. 2 Garibaldi museums. This is just a good card. If you're playing Anarch, you just play with this card. Helps you with combat, then it helps you go fetch an Anarch card. Giant's Blood, Hospital Food, which we just got through talking about. Papillon, another hunting ground. 2 Vessels, and the reason for Vessels over Blood Doll for me in this particular deck is simply because I like the trifle, okay? Because I'm playing with a lot of master cards here, what do we got, 19 master cards? And I think it's what it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 18 master cards. And so with that many master cards, I do prefer that if I can get a tray for them. But don't also forget that the vessel gets rid of a blood dog too. So it gets rid of that. So there you go. The other effect is if let's say if you're playing like Jake Washington or something, if you want to stick that in your deck, that helps you with Jake Washington because vessel. One of the good things is it takes place during the unlock phase, unlike a blood dog, which takes place during the master phase. So there are some differences there that may come into play for you when you're building a deck. Valen 5, 2 wider views because we're going to be able to move that crypt around if we need to, and 1 zoo hunting ground. So we got some hunting grounds to refuel, we got ways to hunt to refuel, just a way to just kind of bring some blood back onto our vampires, all right? So that's the master cards. Let's go to actions, and your actions, or should I say my actions for this particular deck, your actions can be all over the field, but I'm playing them with a little bit of everything. Break the bonds. Going to play a couple of the feast stakes simply because we have 2 barons in the deck with Vivian and with Bidwin, but we want to have the ability to make some of the other vampires barons as well. Then you're going to get into illegalism. Keystone Kind, it's a really good card. Line Brawl, Platinum Protocol, Shattering, Skullduggery. These are cards that the Water Dog loves. I love Shattering, love Skullduggery, and if I've got Protean, I'm gonna play those cards. Okay, Smash and Grab, Undead Influence, and Steely Tenacity. So you could add any Anarch action that you want in here. Things like a Constant Revolution if you wanted to stick that in there. So any Anarch action that you would like, but I like these particular cards because not only do all the cards, for the most part have a thaumaturgy, thing to it, but they also have this idea of, I shouldn't say not the thaumaturgy thing, but they have all the different types of disciplines so that it's more flexible for the vampires that you do have. The thaumaturgy stuff's going to come in here with the action modifiers coming up, and we'll get to that in just a second, I should say. Some vote cards, 2 Patsies, 2 Reckless Agitations, and 1 Revolutionary Council. Patsy is a card that I'm really, thinking I'm just going to start sticking, 1 or 2 in almost any Anarch deck that I'm playing currently, especially with the meta that the game is, right now, with Camarella's Iron Fist being out there, and a lot of second tradition cards being out there. Patsy, it's great because you get the edge, and you take this vote, and you choose a title non-Anarch vampire. Successful referendum means that you burn the edge to remove that vampire's title and burn 2 pool from his or her controller. So it's a way to get rid of that title. So if somebody's got an Ian Carfax deck, for example, and they are relying on Ian Carfax, all of a sudden you're taking away that title and the ability to unlock with second tradition. So you're cutting down on the votes and you're cutting down on the ability for them to block. And typically speaking, with a card like this, you might get a lot of voter support, from your allies and across the table to get this vote off. So I'm thinking 2 Patsies in the deck is not a bad thing right now. 2 Reckless Agitations and a Revolutionary Council. That's our vote cards. We're going to play with some equipment. Codex of the Dam, that gives you some superior thaumaturgy. Codex of the Edonic Groundskeeper, that's your bleed, that's your plus bleed card right there. Then a Ritual Goblet, once again another level of blood sorcery thaumaturgy. Rescuing a vampire from Topor costs this vampire -1 blood, and once each turn this vampire can unlock after rescuing a vampire from Topor, so you get an unlock mechanism out of that. And then a really good card, the Signet of King Saul, that helps protect you from the big vampires that are trying to block you, and you got something that kind of helps you get those actions through. Alrighty? So here comes for me the 2 of the biggest cards in the deck, Private Ink and Loose Cannon. Private Ink with the thaumaturgy is put the card in play during your minion phase, and you can burn 1 pool to unlock a ready Anarch you can trust. So you do a successful Anarch action, be it Platinum Protocol, be it Break Bond, whatever. The action is successful, you put a Private Ink into play. You then can pay a pool to unlock. Your goal with this deck is to get 2 or 3 of these into play as soon as you can get them into play to allow yourself to have the unlock abilities, okay? Loose Cannon, the thaumaturgy ability. Once again, this is going to require an Anarch, only usable as the action is announced. If the action is blocked, apply the following effects, and you will apply the thaumaturgy effect Move 2 blood from a non-blocking vampire controlled by the blocking minion's controller to this vampire. So it's a theft of the batai without ever going into combat. And so it's a way to weaken your opponent's minions. And so I like that. So it's also maybe a deterrent to keep them from wanting to block. That's a possibility too. Mirror Walk gives you your stealth, and then Form of the Bat once again gives you another, so-called stealth. You know, gives you that -1, gives your opponent the -1 intercept. It's also a defense card, where you can gain the +1 intercept if you've got it at superior. So, but the 2 main cards for this deck is the Crymeth Ink and the Loose Cannon. To me, those 2 are going to be really, really key for this deck. Okay. Then when you look at the defense, okay, you got 5 bait switch, and then here comes another really great thaumaturgy card, Detect Authority. You get to reduce the bleed against you by 2. And also, don't forget the animalism effect, because you've got, a few of your vampires are going to have animalism, and if the animalism effect is only usable during an action directed at a minion or location you control, the action fails unless the acting minion burns 2 blood. Allies cannot burn blood. There you go. And so it's a really, really, really good card. Norm Brown used to use this card against me a lot. Prince, Norm Brown. I told you, man, he's mean. He's just mean to me. But in any case, he builds really good, fun decks. The Detect Authority goes, I think, really good in this particular deck. 3 on the QV, and then 3 Organized Resistance. So those are your reaction cards. Now when we get into combat, here we go again. What's a lot of thaumaturgy into this? We got 3 Bollocks. Okay, we have a lot of the vampires that have a lot of those disciplines in there. So you're going to have, the maneuver if you need it. Maybe cancel a frenzy card. You could strike with +1 hand damage. Okay, diversion. You got, once again, vampires are going to have a lot of these different disciplines, but they all have the thaumaturgy. And with the thaumaturgy, strike range, steal 1 blood, and the optional maneuvers. So that's really good too. Earth Melt, just to get out of combat. 2 Flames in the Netherworld. You never know if you're going to get the opportunity to give somebody some aggravated damage, so why not? And then 2, just protect yourself in combat. 2 Wind Dances. And so this is your combat package. Once you get, the deck is designed to be flexible. It's designed to be adaptable. It's not designed to be really strong in one thing or the other. It's just designed to kind of be all over the place. And thaumaturgy allows you, that because of the way that the cards line up for it. Particularly when you're talking about the modifiers, the reactions, and the combat cards. Okay, but it's all based on using those good Anarch actions, because there's just so many good Anarch actions that you can take. And so you take those Anarch actions, get them successful, Crymeth Ink, rock and roll, bro. That's the deck. It's just going to be fun. Like I said, for me, this is going to be a flowing deck. It's a deck I'm just going to be playing with, and I'm going to probably be adding and subtracting cards as I go. But right now, that's the foundation work for it, and I think it's just going to be fun. So let's give it a shot. Why don't we? Hey, man. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, brother. Happy Halloween. Y'all take care.
Oh, you watched the whole video? Hey, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate it. If you like what you've been seeing, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Y'all take care.